We live in a divided community. Crime rates are high, with the worst affected being women and children. The average man on the street is unemployed, and worse yet, unemployable due to lack of skills and education. This leads to poverty and desperation, and the younger generation faces no better hopes for the future due to continuing failure in schools and hospitals to meet even the most basic standards. We are living in a modern-day vision of the city Nehemiah faced, divided by factionalism and disunity.
Like Nehemiah, we can rebuild our city. Imagine Nelson Mandela Bay in transformation, where there is socio-economic upliftment.
The standard of education and healthcare improves, leading to more skilled and educated graduates.
Where people are able to find work and earn a stable income, which means less poverty.
In turn, daily living becomes less of a battle of desperation. People have time to examine their behavior and hold their leaders accountable to moral and godly principles.
Communities develop pride and so unite to protect each other and maintain their upliftment.
Violent crime lessen and people are held accountable for their actions. Children can walk safely in the streets knowing their neighbors will protect them. How do we go about achieving this? The first step is to take a closer look at the Nehemiah Vision and how it relates to Nelson Mandela Bay. In August 2012, Bishop Lunga Kasiboto chose Nehemiah 2 verse 17 for the theme of his address at a community forum. A month later, a vision of how to implement the Nehemiah Vision in Nelson Mandela Bay was presented at the Bishop's prayer meeting. This vision was confirmed by the church leaders at the next Bishop's monthly prayer meeting in November 2012 with a scripture from Habakkuk 2 verse 2 and 3. The vision is in 4 parts. A big circle in the form of a foundation surrounds Nelson Mandela Bay. A strong foundation is not possible without the mixture of all the elements needed. Only once these elements are united will they have the strength to support the metro. This is church unity. That strength will be determined by the strength of the unity of churches in our metro. On this solid foundation, a first layer of 60 large bricks is laid, end to end, forming a circle, which each brick has a section. These sections represent the 60 municipal wards of Nelson Mandela Bay. Just as Nehemiah divided the wall of Jerusalem into sections and allocated each section to a specific group of people, we need to motivate and mobilize the people in each ward to accept responsibility for the rebuilding of their section of our metro. The next 8 layers of bricks are 8 domains: church, business, education, government, family, media and communication, arts and entertainment, and sport. Just as the foundations support the brickwork above, so we call upon the people of each ward to work together in the domains to rebuild their section of the wall. Our strength of our unity of purpose will be the cement to hold these bricks together. The walled city is covered by a canopy of prayer. To build this canopy over the metro, we need to find a prayer warrior for each ward. These warriors will establish prayer groups to saturate their wards in united prayer and encourage the establishment of further groups covering all the domains in their wards. Next is to turn this vision into reality by taking specific steps. A person of peace would need to be identified in each municipal ward to promote church unity in order to achieve this vision. This person will encourage churches in their ward to focus their energies in rebuilding their communities and seek out candidates within each domain who can become people of peace themselves. Every person in Nelson Mandela Bay has a part to play in building this wall. In every domain we commit to, whether on a voluntary basis or through employment, each of us needs to get involved in this rebuilding process. Just as the people of Jerusalem used the tools and skills of their trades, but prepared and equipped to fight off their enemies, so we need to bring our skills and talents and knowledge of spiritual warfare, knowing who and what we're up against, to the rebuilding of our section of the wall. No section of breaking the wall is more important than any other, and each of us, as a member of Nelson Mandela Bay, has ownership of the wall and must take responsibility for its rebuilding. Each of us should discern our specific purpose in God's plan for our city, and then accept responsibility for rebuilding to the very best of our abilities. Teachers should introduce the best possible schooling for the children. Counselors should facilitate the best service delivery for their wards. Parents should ensure the best home life for their families. Each person should do their best in all they do. We must destroy the sacred secular divide in our thinking and realize that all 8 domains combine to form an integral part of our lives in Nelson Mandela Bay. We cannot expect one domain, such as the church or the government, to take care of all the others. However, we must encourage the leaders within each domain to perform their duties morally, efficiently, and timelessly.
The government must focus its energy on service delivery with transparent and moral governance.
Business must operate with ethics and accountability while seeking to develop the better opportunities for the good of all in the metro. Out of this vision comes a message to the churches of Nelson Mandela Bay. For us to rebuild the walls of the city based on a solid foundation of church unity, it is essential that the churches in our metro deliberately make it their mission to become involved in assisting with solutions to everyday community problems. To do this, we need to extend our focus beyond the church walls and into our homes and workplaces. Nehemiah realized that in order to restore the walls of Jerusalem, he needed to first restore the spirituality of the people of Jerusalem. He sent Ezra and Zerubbabel to rebuild the temple and call the people to worship, giving them the godly tools to rebuild themselves so that they will have the strength and motivation to rebuild the walls. We believe it is the church and only the church that will be able to lead the people of our city to rebuild its walls. For the church to lead the people of our city, it needs to seek to understand and demonstrate its relevance in all domains in our metro. To achieve our Nehemiah Vision, we will need to establish a Nehemiah network consisting of the 60 people of peace across the 60 wards and the further 480 people of peace across each domain in these wards. Out of this network, church city task teams can then be established. This endeavor will rely heavily on clear and timeless communication, which can be achieved through social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter. Each church must discern the individual role it is called to play in our metro and communicate and collaborate with other churches. Finally, to ensure a cohesive movement toward achieving our vision, partnerships need to be established between elements of different domains, such as between ward councillors, churches, and schools. Jeremiah 29 verse 7 and verse 11 through to verse 13 reads, "Also seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I'll listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all of your heart. I'll be found by you, declares the Lord."